Good morning and welcome back to Early Morning with Sue. Watch and pray lest you enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Mark 14:38. So the question to ask yourself today is, what can I surrender to God that is keeping me from making prayer an active part of my family life? Mike and Terry had one major goal in common. They both wanted to make their first $1 million by the age of 30. Terry wasn't a Christian when they met, but Mike was, and after attending church with Mike and reading Christian books he gave to her, she accepted the Lord. They were married a short while later and for the next 2 years lived what both called an ideal life. Their focus on financial success, however, caused their dreams to unravel. They began to drift apart and drift away from Jesus Christ. Eventually, they separated and divorced. A year after the divorce, Terry attended a conference and came away believing that God could restore their marriage. She began to pray earnestly for Mike. Not long after, Mike began to recognize that God was not finished with him. He set his heart toward God, walked away from the life he had been leading, and made contact with Terry. They remarried and reordered the focus of their lives. Can prayer keep a marriage together? Mike and Terry believe it can, and so did Reverend and Mrs. Robert Newton. They met twice a day to pray with and for each other every day of their more than 50 years of marriage. At their Jubilee wedding anniversary, Reverend Newton said, "I know not that an unliked look or an unkind word has ever passed between us." The old saying is still true. The family that prays together stays together. Prayer is a virtue that prevaileth against all temptations.